Well, good morning and welcome back to the vlog. Today I'm joining you from a small town called Tacoma, Washington. You might be wondering, Alex, tell us exactly how, what is it like right now with the good old, I'm trying not to say it. What's it like? How's the loads? How's things going? Right? You're probably wondering. Okay, here's the thing. I do have the load board open. Let's just take a quick walk around, do the the PTI. And so today, that's what we're gonna do, okay? That's the goal for today. I wanna see how bad is it actually up here. First of all, I can say the pass, I think it's Snoqualmie. That pass was, there's a little bit of snow, but other than that, no issues. And then the other thing was, I'm driving, it's almost 9 o'clock right now. It's almost rush hour, and I mean, it's basically rush hour. And not a whole lot of cars, not a whole lot of traffic. They have a lot of construction over here on I-5, and so there was some slowdowns, but that's just because of construction. But in reality, it's there's just not a lot of cars on the road, and so it's a little bit slower, that's for sure, as in like less like hustle and bustle. But that's a good thing, I guess, when you're in a big city. Wait, is Tacoma a big city? Because they think this is like Tacoma, right? So today in the video, I just got to go deliver this load, and so I can get it all off today. And then after that, we're going to open up the computer and try to find me a reload. Comment below, did I mess up by coming to here? Or maybe I should talk like this. Did I mess up by coming here? Who knows? Anyways, I got to go quickly inside, grab something to something to eat, and then let's go get this load delivered. I'm empty now, and let's look for some loads. Calling on your load, Lemoore, California to Norfolk, Virginia.
What type of truck?
Hotshot.
1 piece, 720 pounds, 1,500.
And when does that need to pick up and deliver?
Pick up tomorrow, delivery you have like a week.
Okay. All right, let me see if I can find a couple parts to go with that, and I'll let you know. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Hey, calling on your load, Logan, Utah to Avon, Massachusetts.
For Friday?
Yeah.
Okay, hang on for a second, please. Thanks for holding.
Yeah.
It is, hold on a second. It is 7, crates.
Okay.
I believe they're crates. It's 7 foot long, 55 inches wide, and 8 foot 3 inches high.
Okay.
And 5,000 pounds. Pick up at 2 o'clock.
What kind of rate do you have on that?
I don't have a rate yet. Can you give me an idea of one?
Is a Hotshot okay on this?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking for.
Okay.
What kind of rate?
I'm thinking it'd probably have to be right around $1 a mile. So I think, like, what is that, 2,500 bucks almost, something like that?
Yeah, 24.23 is the mileage, so yeah, 24.50.
Right. $1 a mile, I think that's right
$8
there.
a mile?
Yeah, that's a partial rate, and then I'll come in there with stuff on my trailer already, but I'll have more than enough room for you, because I would pick up this, last, and then deliver at the beginning of next week.
Okay, what's your MC? And your phone number, please?
All right, I got an update on the situation. It's not good. It's not good at all. Like right now, I am deadheading from Seattle. I am going to Weed, California. Okay. Now, the reason I'm going to Weed, California, well, not Seattle, Everett, whatever. Right. Well, because my last drop was in Everett, so I'm deadheading. But it's not the same day. Obviously, it's not the same day. It's been 3 days. No, I think the last I was recording Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday. And so I sat and looked for a load all day Wednesday. You saw I made a couple calls. all day Thursday, all day Friday, and I struck out. I did not get a load. Now the problem is actually threefold, okay? Number one problem is I think I was a little bit picky in my destinations, okay? I kept doing Harrisburg with a big old radius. Now, I should have done, what I should have done is when it came closer and closer, like on Thursday afternoon, I should have switched up my search to include like California, Arizona, right? Stuff like that. The reason being is because, I mean, at the end of the day, a little bit of money is better than no money, okay? So that's problem number one. The second thing is the Northwest, okay? The Seattle area, first of all, that's more tech than it is like physical products or manufacturing, right? When have you ever heard of manufacturing in Seattle? Never. Besides Boeing, right? I mean, really, to be honest. And you think Boeing is gonna put stuff on a Hotshot? No, they're not. So manufacturing has always been weak up here. Shipments have always been weak up here, especially for cross-country loads. Okay, cross-country loads on a Hotshot are really challenging to get. And what was my search? Everett to, what was it in Pennsylvania? Harrisburg, right? Everett, Washington to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Good luck. So that's why, you know, these two kind of go hand in hand. It not only is it slow up here, it's also I should have switched up my searches. But the third and final thing, okay, is the thing that's in the air, the thing that's causing all the economic slowdown. It's not a joke. Do not come to the Northwest because it is really bad up here. And so I'm gonna recommend stay local, because I'm only deadheading to Weed just to get closer to position myself on Monday, because I saw there was more loads on Monday. However, there's a good chance that Monday is gonna roll around and I'm gonna actually have to deadhead all the way to Los Angeles. There's a good chance. At least Los Angeles is a huge, massive city. At least they have a little bit of manufacturing, and maybe I can pair up a couple of partials. This is the most I've ever had to deadhead, ever, okay? I'm getting a bunch of articles emailed to me, like from Freight Waves, from other freight resources, like, guys, get ready, it's gonna get worse. Freight is gonna be exponentially worse. So if you can go get your CDL, do it. If you can go get out of this, do it. If you can park the truck and afford to sit at home, do it. Right now is definitely not the time to be jumping into this. Right now is definitely not the time to be considering anything like this. Really, right now is the time to batten down the hatches and really, like, you know, I've stopped a whole ton of projects in the works, okay? I've stopped a bunch of them because there's a chance that it's gonna get a whole lot worse.
The next day.
Okay, so it's 6 o'clock in the morning. I am on the computer looking for loads, and I'm making calls, and so that means it's like 9 o'clock on the East Coast, so everybody should be working now. But let me tell you, rates are really cheap. We're talking real cheap, you know, like full loads for me, not even $1 a mile. It's ridiculous. So, and that's like not even $1 a mile loaded, let alone with deadhead. So we're gonna try to pair up a couple things, but hey, when the what's that saying? When the tough get going? No, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. Something like that, right? I don't know, whatever. We'll try to make something work. That's how it's done, boys, okay? Where's the flashlight? Man, I'm excited. Dude, I like booking freight, you know what I mean? I just freaking like booking freight. Oh, gosh. Okay, so this load just popped out. Okay, here, I'll do the screen recording really quick. Here, let me start the screen recording. Okay, so here's what's going on, right? I'm opening a new search right now, going on Weed. Well, I don't know how to spell weed. Weed. So I'm trying to open a new search, right, from Weed, California, and I was trying to do like 300, 400, 500 mile radius going anywhere, so that maybe I can do a short hop to Arizona, New Mexico, maybe Colorado, something like that. Just short hop out of California. I usually hate doing short hops, but I'm like, you know what, whatever. If I gotta get out of Cali, I gotta get out of Cali. Now, as I'm doing this, Dispatch Robot pops out this load, okay? And obviously, guys, when you're watching this, it's already way old, right? So I've probably already done this load, delivered this load by the time I've edited it and recorded it and all this other stuff, right? So when you're this load pops out, 40-foot Hotshot, 5,000 pounds, dude. Load pops out. Here's how I do it, okay? So always call the phone number in the comments. Don't call this number, and that's exactly what I did. I just triple click, you Command C, and then you go to your phone, right? Because I use Google Voice, and you click Command V. And when I clicked, I was literally the first call. Probably that guy was like barely rubbing his eyes, just waking up. But dude, we locked it down. Now here's the kicker. It's North Carolina. It's going to a base. And he's like, you gotta have clean background, whatever. And I do, so that's fine. So now all I gotta do is wait for the rate con to come in. And dude, it's gonna be amazing. I'm so thrilled, bro, that worked out. Oh gosh. So we just, well, don't get too excited yet, Alex. Okay, we gotta still gotta get the Raycon and go get the load. And then really quickly, what I do, he asked me, hey, when will you be there? I type in Weed, California to Rio Vista, California. Boom, right here it is, just Sacramento. Like, here's what I'm gonna say. You know, I deadhead from Seattle. I was nervous. I was like, man, I don't know if this is gonna work out or not, deadheading so far, but looks like it did. So if you type in, it was Everett, right? Everett, Washington. So if we type in Everett and we get rid of weed right here, Everett to Rio Vista, 807 miles of deadhead from my last drop to where I'm picking up. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Let's wait for the Raycon and then we can hit the road. My tanks are full. I just ate, I'm showered, so I'm ready to go. So as soon as it comes in, we're gonna start driving. So here it is, here's the load. I mean, you just saw the time lapse. So it's these 5 or 6 things with this piece of wood right here. Now here's the thing, I don't want to do a whole bunch of work by sliding the wood up there. I don't want to do a whole bunch of work by putting them in a row because I don't know what my next load is. But like I said, this load wasn't really great. You know, this is $1 a mile, and most people would probably say that's garbage, but hey, sometimes you show up, you get loaded, and there's a little bit of room left, so it's not so bad. So here's the plan with this load. Now I know that I have about 15 feet on the back and about 8 feet wide, because this like 10 by 10 or whatever this is, it can go next to all these. So that means I have 15 feet on the back, or if there's like a 40-foot long pipe or a 30-foot long pipe, I could slide these up, like slide these back, and so put them all to one side and put the pipe along the side of these. So that's my 2 options of pieces: a 40-foot long 3-foot wide, or a 15-foot long 8-foot wide. So now let's jump back on the load board and let's do it. Guys, I'm just trying to show you, like, this is actually what it takes to make it through a downtime, you know, or downturn in the freight. You just gotta run cheap and hope for the best. And sometimes when you run cheap and hope for the best, you get a little bit lucky. And sometimes the more you run, the luckier you get. Would you look at that? I booked myself a partial. It's funny the way it works out, and it's a nice one too. Okay, so the dispatch robot popped out the load. It was actually, you know, it's funny because this load, this guy has been posting it, and he started out at like, I think $1,000 earlier this morning. And I was like, man, $1,000 partial, it's like 11 feet, it's like it's 800 pounds. I'm like, dude, it's like okay if you already have a load, right? Well, I got a load, and so I'm like, and then this, I thought he covered it, that's why I didn't see it on the board. And then and then it just came up again, so maybe somebody canceled. And so that's funny because I was able to lock it down. So that's a win for the books right there. It's a nice partial. And so he posted it for $1,400. And so, you know, you always gotta ask these brokers for more money, and he ends up sending the Raycon over for $1,700 bucks. Yeah, how do you like them apples? So anyways, it's gonna be $1,700 plus my rate of the other load, which is 38. So that's now 4K plus 15, so $5,500 bucks. That's not bad, and it's going to Virginia, and North Carolina and Virginia are very, very close to each other. So let's go grab this load, and then we can get on the road. What am I, some kind of U-ship carrier or something? What's up with this? I'm doing a residential pickup. Residential. By the way, what do you guys think? One strap on each ball, or each buoy, I guess, to be proper. The buoy's only 500 pounds, so I think like one strap is overkill. I just don't want to, you know, I don't want to lose the load. So anyways, here's what we're picking up. It's a bed to the truck or something like that. Here you go, let me show you right here. So that's what we got to get on somehow. Good stuff. So we're gonna figure that out. I'm gonna grab my tape measure so that we can measure a whole bunch of stuff, and then you will watch us put it on the trailer. All right, so I am finally loaded up and rolling, okay? Now, what is the point of this video, you may be asking? I just wanted to show exactly what it's like right now, in the thick of it, in the middle of it, and from what I'm hearing, it may, I mean, there's a chance, it's definitely, I mean, not even a chance, it's probably gonna get worse, okay? It's probably gonna get worse. And if you've already typed, or you maybe already were thinking about it, Alex, that's such a cheap rate. Now, on the loaded miles, it's not half bad. On the loaded miles, I think it was like $1.60, 70. I'm gonna put it right here on the screen. This is loaded miles, okay? So I think that's pretty good. The problem is the deadhead, right? And like I've said already several times, I think in the video, I deadheaded all the way from Everett. And so on all miles, it comes out to be $1.30, something like that, $1.30 a mile, okay? And at that point, it's like, well, are you actually even making anything? First of all, I think I am. I don't know exactly my cost per mile, but I'm fairly certain my cost per mile is like $1.05, roughly. Without driver pay, it's right around $1.05. Now, here's what I want you to understand with this video. You're going, when the times are tough, you're going to operate at a loss. That's simply put. Okay, understand. Let me repeat myself. Understand. You're going to operate at a loss during tough times. The question is, how are you going to operate at a loss? Okay, now I want you to understand that there's basically two types of people in trucking. Okay, the people that say, oh, I'm not leaving my house unless it's $2 a mile, right? There's those people. And then there's people like, oh, I don't care what it is. I don't care about the per mile necessarily. I just need about $5,000, $6,000 in revenue. Okay, and I firmly fall into the revenue camp. Now, don't get me wrong, I still get a good rate per mile. I do. I've been consistently for the last year or so getting, you know, right around $1.80, $1.90, $2, all miles, right? So I've been getting those rates recently, and but however, you're going to have overhead, right? And so here's comparing those two people, the rate per mile people and the revenue people, right? So the rate per mile people are going to have things, everybody has fixed costs. Whether you like it or not, you have fixed costs. So the question is, can you save up some money and wait it out until you get the $2 mile? Or do you have to operate at a loss, pulling a cheaper load while you're trying to work your way towards that $2 mile load, right? That's the question. And that's the difference between those two types of people. So for example, my fixed costs are, I pay myself $1,800 a week. I have 2 employees. One is $400 a week and the other one is $600 a week. So that means my flat like my flat salaries, right? My salary per week is $2,800 every single week, regardless of whether I work or not. $2,800, and that's at least for the next 2 months. Now, don't forget, there's other things like insurance, right? That doesn't include insurance. So insurance costs money, right? Don't forget, you have your minimum truck payment, right? I mean, I get that this is a rental, but there's a minimum, 5,000 miles, which is 1,100 bucks or something like that, right? So there's that minimum. And so it's like, when you break it down, that's $2,000 for the month. You know, then there's other little services here and there. $2,000 for the month, that's another $250 a week. So $2,800 plus another $250, or no, that's $500 a week, $2,000. So 28 plus 5, that's now $3,300. You could round up and call it $3.5 grand every week I have fixed costs. How long is it going to take me to save up enough money to have 6 months savings for myself, even at $2 a mile? A long time, right? So at the end of the day, the question comes down to, like, what are your operating costs? What are your fixed operating costs, I should say? And how does that affect how you run? Do you run for the rate per mile because you know your operating costs are super low? Or do you run for volume and revenue, because then at the end of the day, your operating costs are going to be the same regardless of how many miles you run, so it makes sense to run as many miles as possible. So in situations like these, when the economy is in a serious downturn, when there's a lot of problems going on, in a situation like this, ask yourself who you want to be, or don't even ask yourself, what is your financial situation? And that'll determine what you have to do. So I'm fully and completely ready to work twice as hard for half the amount. I'm totally ready for that, because I realize that's what's gonna have to happen, and that's just because my overhead is so high. So I totally understand that, and I'm ready. But I'm just gonna end the video here, because I think more than anything, this has you know, kind of proved the point, and I want to get out this content so you guys can kind of see what's going on. I don't want to upload this 2 weeks later when, who knows, it might get better or it might get way worse, who knows. So the point remains the same, that I'm going to try to throw this up, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.